This is part two of what has happened within the last month and a half when my first video was recorded originally. I talked about my addiction with sugar, but another thing that made me worry a lot about my health is that I was struggling to remember many things. My memory felt very weak, and just a foggy mind overall is what I had. And I would like to consider myself someone who has a good memory and does not find it hard to formulate sentences in different scenarios, a casual conversation, or at work or wherever. But for some reason, I started. Oh, it's happening. Stuttering, not only in English but in Spanish, which is my first language. And it's very upsetting to hear yourself unable to communicate as well as you can. But it goes deeper than that because it wasn't just stuttering. I could also notice that the words that I was using were very basic and just I like I felt like I didn't have enough vocabulary for me to express myself as I wanted. And by that I do not mean those people who learn high highly complex god highly complex words that make them sound overly fancy and that nobody understands, or that I don't know, that people might have never heard that word before. No, I'm not talking about that. And I mean that in Spanish and English. I think for you to be a great communicator, you have to use language or enough vocabulary for you to be diverse with your ideas. But the most important thing is for people to actually understand what you're saying and for them to actually remember what it is that they were told. And yes, I know that includes storytelling and whatnot. Yes, it has many stages, phases, parts to it. Communication in general. But going back to my point, I was struggling to remember many things, and that is so inconvenient for work because it makes you slow, it makes you overthink, and it makes you make mistakes too many times. So it's not a great feeling. So what I did when I started feeling this is letter soups. It's been a month maybe or more, like a month and 1 week since I started using this book. It's in Spanish. It was laying around in my house and nobody ever used it. So I just went ahead with it. And every day or night I have been completing these exercises that are, some of them are quite easy and some of them are full of words that I have never heard of. But it's good because you learn something if you look for the meaning. which I have not done for most of them. And I have found myself quite happy about this because I really enjoy doing them. Even when I am very tired and I couldn't do it throughout the day, I try to do them or complete at least one before I go to bed. And it has really helped me. I think this has become a habit for me. Let me see how many of them I have completed during this time. I'm not cutting this, I'm not editing this. Okay, I have completed 45. 45 of these things. And I've been actually very consistent with this. It it is not a hard hobby or habit to adopt because it takes around 10 minutes. It's really quick. But for those 10 minutes that I have spent daily completing them, I have felt a great change and it feels good. Well, maybe it's not a huge change, but I feel like my mind has gone back to feeling a lot more stable when I'm speaking. I find myself not stuttering as much, and it's getting easier to remember things about everything. Especially, it it used to happen that I would remember a phrase or something that someone said, but I couldn't remember who said it. And that is really frustrating because if you're speaking to a person saying, hey, so somebody told me that this restaurant was great, we should go, and the other person could be the one who told you, and they would say, yeah, I was the one who told you. And that doesn't mean it's not annoying, well, it depends on the person. But my point is, when that happens so much, it's getting annoying to yourself. Pay attention to that. Fix it. And thank the universe that this has been working. Because if you're struggling with many things mentally, especially if you don't remember things, bigger things, maybe you should see a doctor. But what was happening to me didn't didn't feel like I needed to go to the hospital or anything. So it's working. What else? For my mind, I think exercise and eating better and all of that has helped. But I think this is the main activity that has helped me regarding this. And this is part two. I will seize this moment and say that there's gonna be a part three of me telling you about what has happened during this last month and a half. So thank you for watching. I will be seeing you and you will be seeing me on part three. It's gonna be just 3 parts. So see you next time.